It's interesting, when I was here, and I used to give a lot of meditation instruction, people would come, I would give the instruction, they would come back a couple weeks later and said, wow, ever since I've been meditating, I've been thinking more than ever, and it seems like my life's worse. I said, well, I don't think you're thinking more than usual, you're just noticing you're thinking finally. Right? So it's like, yeah, we have this kind of romantic idea that it's going to come and, we're going to get this good feeling. That may happen, but just like anything, right? Once you get a good feeling, how long can you keep that good feeling? Or just like when you have a bad feeling too, how long can you keep that, right? That's all coming and going. So I think that's interesting too. It's like sometimes we see something in practice that we didn't expect, and that's really seeing our own mind. We get to see all of it. And this is, I'll get into this later, but this is why we practice together. So we get to see, when we're practicing together with people, that everything we like, I just talked about this, and don't like, everything we're holding on to, especially in retreats, like someone's making a noise, right? They're sniffling or coughing or breathing too heavy or something. You're like, oh my God. And we want to put that on them. But actually, again, we are adding on to the truth. I just talked about that, right? There's the truth, and then stuff we add on to it. There's a saying in Zen, don't paint legs on a snake. I've always loved it. Because it's a snake's complete, but we're always adding stuff to it. And it's the same thing. Like if someone keeps, let's say, sniffling. I'm just using this example because it's happening right now. It's happening live as we speak. That's just the truth. So when we're sitting with that, I remember, I'm just going to rewind a little bit to connect. When I first started practicing in Seattle, I had a very similar experience where I was new to the practice, and I had this idea that practice meant everything's quiet and feels great. And actually there was a spring morning that was very beautiful, because usually it's very cloudy. I don't think that's not beautiful either, but I'm just saying it's the nice idea where the windows are open and you can smell spring coming in and hear the birds chirping, the breeze just like touching your face. It's so amazing. So I was sitting there, I was like, this is the best ever. This is what it's about. And then the next door neighbor dog started to bark. Woof, 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 woof. And not just like for 2 minutes, the whole sitting period. And I was upset. It's like, this dog is like so noisy, it's ruining my meditation. So I went to talk to the teacher at the time who was there about it. And I told him, this dog was ruining my meditation. He said, why? It's so loud. Really? I said, yes. He said, the dog's bark never said it was loud. I just never heard a phrase like that before. It's like, the dog's bark never said it was loud. So who made it loud? And it just blew me away, like, oh my gosh. I made it loud. I made it distracted. I had some idea about what meditation is. And as in life, right, if our idea doesn't match what's in front of us, what happens? We're dissatisfied. So that's why we come here to practice. But it's not easy because we get to see all of this stuff that's very difficult. That's why we practice together, because everybody is experiencing something difficult at some point in the retreat. And so what happens, again, if we're not pushing away our thinking and feeling, and we're not holding our thinking and feeling, that's where wisdom comes from. We talk about digesting our experience. It just means we learn from this. We see our own mind clearly. Oh, that's just my thinking. Okay, that's okay. And our job is to let go. Sometimes we can't control our emotions. So as Sunny mentioned, we do 300 bows. But we have to look closely at this, because it's like life. Sometimes it's great and sometimes it's not. No matter what, you notice that? No matter what you do. It doesn't matter if it's a job, relationship, whatever. It's always going to be like that. So if we take that opportunity and not point the finger, that my grandma always said, there's one finger pointing this way, but 3 pointing back to you.
Oh.
It's like, oh, right? That's why I love retreats. You know, when I did a solo, any retreat, but the solo retreat really stood out because I had no one to blame. Because usually in Kilche I can say, man, that Kuan Yin saying, making this day difficult, right? I can blame someone if I want to. But on a solo retreat, there's no one around. So there's really no one to blame, right? And you have the same schedule every day. I did 90 days. And I had actually the same food. Like at least there you get 5 options, I think, right? Rotating every 5 days, there's 5 options for soup for 3 months. So I was eating the same food, same schedule, and basically the weather was the same, right? So everything's basically the same. But some moments, it was like, oh, I could just stay here my whole life. I think after this retreat, I'm going to move in. And then the next sitting period, like, can't wait to get the hell out of here. Get me out of here. But that was interesting, right? It's like, wait a minute. Nothing's changed. So it really shows us it's our mind that's making this. It's making it good. It's making it bad. It's making it easy. It's making it difficult. So the more we look at that, be patient with ourselves, but diligent, then we can learn from it. And from that, that's where clarity and wisdom comes from. And then we can use that to help others.